So I've been exclusively wearing Lefevre made gear since 2020. I had a 20.1 set for almost 2 years, and I'm currently in my 20.2s, which I have now had for over 6 months, almost caught up on 1 year. This is my review of them. It is sponsored by Manscaped. Let's begin. At the end of the day, I'm doing what feels right for me and chasing down my dream. Okay, so I ordered my set of Lefevre 20.2 gear in February of 2022. It was completed in April, and then I picked it up in June. Now, I did an initial impressions unboxing and review, and then I did a 3-month follow-up that spoke to the performance of the gear. But today's video is going to cover more durability, my experience, and I guess my ultimate verdict of what I recommend it and am I going to buy again. Now, I spent a lot of last summer demoing some Bauer mock gear, but I've used this Lefevre 20.2 set exclusively from about August of 2022 until December, so about 4.5 months of pro hockey in Motor City until I was shut down for season-ending hip surgery. But in that time window, I did not experience any durability issues with my pads, glove, or blocker. I mean, my 20.1 set only started to show durability and wear issues about 12 to 13 months of use in, which funny enough was actually right around the start of my second season of pro hockey in Sweden that I was using that Lefevre gear for. So I wouldn't expect my 20.2 set to start breaking down for at least a few more months, but I have heard of other people saying that their gear is broken down sooner. I've had people reach out saying that it only lasted 2 to 3 months. That may be because my gear is built a lot stiffer than theirs, but in my experience, I did not have this happen and have not to date with this 20.2 set. So as far as custom orders go, I mentioned this in the last review, but I ordered 2 gloves, both of which just didn't feel like they closed the way that a Lefevre made glove should. And I mean a glove that was actually handcrafted by somebody with the last name Lefevre. They also showed up with nylon lacing instead of skate lacing, which I put on the custom order, and a couple of specs that seemed to have changed when the pads showed up. But turns out Patrick Lefevre ended up calling me to tell me that he saw some clips of me in Europe the year before and made some changes to my custom order to accommodate what he saw. Now, I have no problem with this, and I'm all for getting my gear tailored towards me, but at the time I hadn't spoken to the man in over a year, so it would have been nice to get a little bit of a heads up or at least talk about these beforehand so I knew what to expect and I knew what we were actually changing and why. I told him I wanted the exact same gear that I had before, and he'd mentioned that he'd changed the way that the boot was going to fit so that it would fix the over rotation for my 20.1s, as you can see here. At the time when I first started using my 20.2s, I kind of hated the feel, but I can confidently say 6 months later, granted I may have just gotten used to it, but I actually kind of like it. And maybe it's, again, because I've gotten used to it, but I like that the pad doesn't feel like it's completely falling forward like the previous 20.1 was. Now, the pads are super lightweight. I know Patrick Lefevre takes a lot of pride, since especially splitting from CCM, making his pads super lightweight, and he has absolutely done that. I still do stand behind what I said last time though about the gloves and the fact that they are heavy and outdated. The blocker probably maybe a little bit thinner than it was 5 years ago, but there are truly no crazy technological advancements. There's no crazy Bauer rebounds coming off the board, no crazy thin blocking profile, no cutting edge, anything really. It's just an amazing feel with some great wrist mobility, but all the other companies are innovating right now, so why can't Lefevre? The cuff of the catch glove is really thick, and when you compare the look of it to a Warrior G6 or Bauer Mock or even a Hyperlight, it just doesn't look like a glove that was built in 2023. It looks, again, in my opinion, very outdated. You tell me in the comments section below what you think and if it looks outdated, because I think it does. Let's talk about my next order, and will I be ordering Lefevre gear again? Well, the simple answer is yes and no. I say this because I actually recently submitted an order of custom Lefevre PX3s in my team colors in Motor City, with white and purple as you see on the screen here. Now, Patrick Lefevre told me with my 20.2 orders that he wants to have me in his gear and that he would do whatever it take to make me happy and make sure that my gear worked the way that I wanted. And I was really excited to hear that. He ended up fixing one of my gloves, which was great. But after that, I didn't hear back for 2 months until I posted my 3-month review, and then I ended up hearing back from him again to get my second glove fixed. And since then, I've reached out multiple times about getting my pro order of PX3 submitted, but again, absolute radio silence. So I reached out to a pro rep who, if I'm being honest, was kind of useless, and told me that if I don't play in the ECHL, AHL, or NHL, they don't consider me to be a pro, and I'm going to have to submit an order through retail. Well, I've enjoyed my 20.2s a lot, and I heard that the PX3s were going to be a stiffer hybrid pad that, you know, I've been kind of looking for, and especially with the new reins that I'm going to have since this hip surgery, I said, you know what, I'm going to submit an order. I think this is a good idea. So I submit the order, but the problem was that the process is so slow that it actually gave me time to think about, do I actually want to do this again? I know I enjoyed my 20.2 set, but having to chase down Patrick Lefevre to fix the mistakes that he made on my set was an absolute nightmare. And I'm also spending over $4,000 on a custom set when I play in a pro league that is a Warrior sponsored league, and I can get a custom Warrior G6 set for literally less than half the price of these PX3s. And I also know my pro rep at Warrior personally, and I know that he's going to go out of his way to make sure that I'm happy and I'm taken care of, because he has in the past on countless occasions. So I did exactly what you think I did. I canceled the PX3 order. Obviously, I hadn't paid at that point in time because it was still being processed by Lefevre. And I put in a custom order of G6.1s, as you see on the screen here, and they should be arriving next week. And I would honestly love to see nothing more than Lefevre split from True and go back to the mom and pop feel they had in 2020 when I was working with them, when I got to see the factory and I got to see what they were all about, because they're very well-intended people, and I think Patrick Lefevre is an absolute generational craftsman. He is the best at what he does for a reason. But since then, and since they got bought out by True, they've had consistent 6-month plus wait times, orders getting messed up left and right. All meanwhile, they've had plenty of time to get this new Chinese-made line up and running, this domestic line, shall we say. Now, I haven't tried the overseas line, and nor have I seen them in person, but I know from speaking with the Lefevre family in 2021, they were trying to get back to something similar with True that they had with their CCM merger previously. Now, trying the Lefevre-made gear was night and day different from the Chinese-made versions that I'd owned previously. And obviously, Patrick Lefevre is going to say that he approves it, but he has literally been making gear longer than I've been alive on this planet. The reality here is that True has had to add so many new employees over the last couple of years due to deaths within the family, staffing shortages, and other issues. And to be honest with you, I don't want these new employees making my gear. I want Patrick Lefevre making my gear. And that didn't happen when I ordered my gear or when issues came up. It only happened when I voiced my issues online through these videos. And realistically speaking, if you're watching this video, you're probably an average goalie looking to spend your hard-earned $4,000 on a custom-made set of gear. Maybe you're a parent, but point being is that you're looking to spend your hard-earned money. And although I do play professional hockey, I am just like you. I pay for my gear. Granted, I have access to get discounted prices, but I pay for my gear just like you, and I make these videos to help you make an informed decision. And as I've stated in previous videos, I'm not going to tell you whether you should or shouldn't order. I'm just going to tell you on what I am doing, and this is how I see it. Anytime I post a video reviewing my experience and opinions on my Lefevre-based gear, they average about 35,000 views a video. And if 1% of the views in this video are people looking to make a purchasing decision on their $4,000 set, that's $1.4 million in sales on the low end. And if the team at Lefevre, and specifically True, can't be bothered to make sure that my order is correct and taken care of, why would they bother for yours? Like, that's the part to me that is so disappointing, because like I said, I have seen Lefevre, I've seen what they do at the factory. I've had a first-hand experience that so many people do not get to see. I know what they're all about, and I know how good Patrick Lefevre is at his job, but he can't execute when they've been scaled up so big by True and making sure that the quality stays the same for everybody, not just NHL goalies. And you know what? Yes, I am very lucky enough to have the contact with Patrick Lefevre to fix certain things, but the average goalie does not. If you're Connor Hellebuyck, yes, you can snap your fingers and there's a set that shows up next week exactly the way that you want it in less than a week, but most people watching this video are not Connor Hellebuyck, and it's the reason why I decided to cancel my PX3 order and submit a custom order of G6 gear. I think True has a lot of work to do to fix these problems, and I hope that they can, because they're the ones that have taken over Lefevre, and if I'm being completely honest, I'd love nothing more than to wear Canadian-made, Patrick Lefevre-made gear, but they've basically made it impossible for me to confidently and comfortably do so. And the reality is that if they're going to fix this problem, it's going to have to start with an amazing beard trim from Manscaped.com. The new Manscaped Beard Hedger is the premium beard sculpting machine with enough power and precision to craft your style in a single swipe. The kit comes with a styling cream, beard conditioner and shampoo, a little scrubby here for getting all the junk out of your beard, and the main attraction, the hedger itself. It's got 20 different lengths that are controlled by this little zoom wheel that you click back and forth, as you see here. It also carries a 60-minute battery life on a single charge, all encased in its waterproof design. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code TRAVSUCKS at manscaped.com. That is 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com when you use the code TRAVSUCKS at checkout. It is time to feel sexy and free this 2023, and I cannot say thank you enough to manscaped.com for sponsoring this video. This was my 6-month, almost 1-year review and my final review of my Lefevre 20.2 gear. Obviously, I haven't gotten my G6.1 set at the time of recording this video, but I do plan to list all of my old gear that I'm not wearing on my sideline swap lockers, so if you want to buy any of my old sets, there will be a link in the video description for that. I also want to thank you very much for watching. I have a 6-month review of my Connect skates coming up next week that I think you should definitely hit the subscribe button for so you don't miss out on it, and you can also follow along with my journey through professional hockey. My name is Travis Ridgen. I want to thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have had an experience with True or Lefevre that is similar to mine or what you think, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.